Oh shit. Y'all early today? All right, shit. Well, I was gonna keep y'all waiting for a little bit, but y'all popping out already. It's WrestleMania week. That must be what it is. But you could see, you could see the talking head dancing. That's what we're talking about today, because Jay Uso just yeeted all over. Wait, sounds weird. That sounds like he jizzed all over Cam's stage. He didn't do that, but he did beat the shit out of Cam, Killa Cam. Shout out to him. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna watch it. We're gonna talk about it. There's some pros, there's some cons to it. You know what I mean? I think first of all, sending Jay Uso to places like Killer Cam's spot or the Breakfast Club is such a great idea, obviously. Because it's like you send Cody to Pat McAfee, right? I mean, that's right. And it's like, it doesn't have to even be like, oh, it's separated like this, but it's like, what fandom is going to react more, right? Like that's kind of the whole question of this. But we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what else? Oh, Darby Allin. Darby Allin wins the AEW title last night. All right. Matt and Machine Gun Matt and Super Max rather. We've been talking about it in the chat all fucking day. I've been wanting to come on as quickly as I can. Still a ton of work left for Mania. I have so much fun things planned, guys, on Saturday and Sunday. Please, this isn't one of those times where the content creators like just follow, trust me. This is like literally don't even follow me. Just, you know what, follow me for the day, turn your notifications on and rock out with us. And if you don't want to stay subbed after that, that's all you. That's good, champ. He said racist. Shout out to Super Mix. Yo, what? That's weird. Both, I got two people call me out on. Did that sound racist? Did it? No, it didn't. You're trolling, right? I don't know who Alfredo is, but he said that I clearly hate a group of people. Here, you know what? Here's the thing. I'm gonna say this right now. I didn't even want to say this right now. Um, I, I am white. I am white. You can let the mustache and the Mexican flag in the back, uh, let you write a book, but I'm white. I'm part white. My great grandfather's last name was Wells. He is one of the most white looking farmers you could imagine in the 1940s. Um, he married my grandmother, whose parents were from Mexico, um, and basically kept her hostage on a farm in mid South Texas. So, but either way, I am part white, so I don't. You're a weirdo, not you, Mex. This fucking IG idiot. But anyway, listen, we're gonna get started here. Oh, my bad. I'm gonna send the link out a little bit later for people to join. Uh, Yo, I didn't mean it like that. Here's what I meant, right? I think that there is an audience, right, for Jey Uso, and I think they're more excited seeing Cam get his ass beat by Jay, right? But again, it wasn't like the best thing ever. Didn't really hit the way I think it could have hit. But Yo, Mex is crazy, bro. But listen, I think that there are pros and cons to it, right? And that's basically gonna be like the whole subtext of the show today. We're gonna do that. All right. But I am gonna send the link to the guys for whenever they get a chance to jump on. No rush, of course. Let's see. Kill it, Cam. Uh, we do also have some boxing news we're going to talk about. Canelo is coming back for Ryder season. That's cool. I tries insane. Wow, I didn't know Juju Bio and Johnny Mansour were fighting, and apparently it's on Triller and pay per view. I actually want to watch that fight. Let me see. Let's see. Hold on. Ooh, I pissed off a bunch of people on Twitter today. All right. So about 10 hours ago, Roman Reigns, this is where we're going to start. Oh, okay. So look, real quick, while I do all this. So so anyway, we're gonna watch some content as I pull up everything that we're going to talk about, and as well as send the invite out. Let me copy that. Let me just do that real quick. Mario Munguia at yahoo.com is my email if you ever want to email me something. Boop. Okay, that's done. Now let's share screen. How about we do that? So we can all know what the fuck I'm talking about. All right. So Bully Ray had this posted about 7 hours ago. It sucks because I was like, literally, it was like 5 minutes and I saw it and I was like, oh, I should go live on this. This is great. And then here we are fucking hours later. But either way, Bully Ray of Busted Open Radio, one half of the legendary tag team, the Dudley Boys. He came on and he said, for years on Busted Open Radio. Wait, can y'all see this? Oh, yeah, you can. Okay. For years on Busted Open Radio, you've been hearing me talk about the word real, reels in quotes. This is real. This is the direction pro wrestling needs to head into. This is the way. Now, you're going to see what he's talking about here. And Roman's like, looks so shook at the camera, bro. But let's see it. Let's watch. Let's watch what's got Roman Reigns so hot and bothered. Now, this is what Bully Ray has said should be the way. This was hours just before Bully Ray reposted it. I've not watched it. I said, holy shit, what a comment he just made. This better be fucking good. And I said, I'm going to live react to this. So we're going to watch this as I send out the link, and then we'll comment on it afterwards. At WWE, so that they won't fucking pull me off of fucking YouTube.
I don't understand what this place looks like sometimes, but I know my instincts, and I know pro wrestling, and I know what it looks like when there's a fighting champion, and there's somebody who cares and believes, and that's what you're gonna get when CM Punk wins at WrestleMania.
So was that was that CM Punk like social media? He's just like doom scrolling CM Punk on IG, or what's going on here? I don't know. Zero context doesn't help, guys.
You defended the title 3 times.
Oh, boom, roasted. That's what needed to be there.
The whole year. You defended the title 3 times. You've had it, the whole year. You're not a fighting champion. You're not even a fighter. We've seen how that went.
Oh, that's nasty work. Yo, and then he does the face pop. Yo, he is playing it up for the camera. Do not get fooled in thinking that Roman Reigns is doing anything other than playing it up for the camera. Hilarious. Such good work here. Very good.
Coddled by management because I'm money, and they've known that since the beginning. I told them.
Oof.
I'm an unsigned $1 billion check. Go back and find it.
Ugh.
It's in the archives.
Ugh. Ugh. He just said he's an unanswered $1 billion check. Oh my God. That is like, oh man, that has so many layers to it, right? What he said in AEW, what he said before he left WWE, what he said after he left WWE. Holy shit. That's a bar. If y'all didn't realize that, that's a bar. That's not a line. That's not a promo. That's a bar.
You don't have that type of confidence because you're not the type of man I am. You're not cut from the same fabric as me. It blows my mind that you think we're fucking equals.
Oh!
In which way? It's only going to take the first couple of minutes for the whole world to see.
Yo, this is building up to something that I don't know if they can even like top, honestly. Like, I'm not even trying to be a hater about this. I feel like this is so big now. Like, I mean, not like it was big, it's been big, but like, why the fuck is my camera so? My bad, I keep shaking the table. Because I'm so horned up for this. This is so good. But yeah, it's really good.
There's no way we could ever be on the same level. Coddled. The whole industry coddles you just by having you in it. You talk about the old timers, those were tough guys. We've seen what happens when you try to be a tough guy. We put our whole reputation, the whole art form on the line for you because what? 100,000 internet marks love you from the beginning? Let's go back to your journey days when you were on the indies. It was the shits. An embarrassment. There's not a legend in my family that respects you.
Yikes.
You're the reason we don't let marks in the business.
Damn.
Keep my fucking name out your mouth. On Sunday, it ends for you.
Yo, that was all the way hard right there. Like all the way, bro. Yo, Roman dug deep for something there. There is some hatred in his voice that he does not care to mask. I don't know. I mean, look, here's the thing, right? We know that wrestling is a business and we know that the work is the product, right? Here's what we also know. We know that it's very rare for stars of this magnitude to just be like, cool, you're cool, I'm cool, we're just gonna be fucking cool. Not at all, right? You can be a professional while still subjugating. The hell? Oh, I'm not on the right one. My bad. Boop. Nope. There it is. Nope, that's not any of them. Let's see. Is it this one? Right, fuck it. It's that one, I guess. So anyway, yeah, that was good. That was really good. Listen, Roman Reigns dropping the F-bomb twice. I love it. I love it. Even though, yeah, it's like kids are watching and, it's like not great to, give kids a version of their hero that they're really not meant to see. You know what I mean? But that said, though, it amplifies the product, right? And here's the other part. So far, the only person that's been allowed to push that line is Pat McAfee. And we talked about this on the show yesterday, right? Shout out to Shoeshine. Shout out to Abe Gonzalez of FightsATW.com. By the way, you can go to FightsATW.com right now and read my newest article that I put out. In fact, here's a little cheap plug for it. How about that? And so when you look at the what's the word? Like the stakes of Sunday night, right? They feel real. They feel authentic. It feels like Roman's not cutting a promo. It doesn't even feel like it's a shoot. It just feels like he's talking what he feels. And it comes out so authentically badass, right? But with CM Punk, it doesn't hit that way at all. And I think that's one of the big reasons why Roman has not, like, he's never surpassed that Roman mark. Let's be honest. CM Punk is not on Roman Reigns' level from a star perspective. CM Punk existed as like that niche hardcore rapper that all the hardcore fans love, like Doom, like MF Doom. If anybody knows who MF Doom is a very obscure rapper that probably most people that consider themselves rap fans don't even know of, right? So you have like a guy like MF Doom, but then you have a guy like Jay-Z. And just because the fandom of MF Doom is like 99% love and the fandom of Jay-Z is maybe only like 40% love, it doesn't matter. You're talking about a much bigger piece of the pie when you're talking about Jay-Z as opposed to MF Doom. And that's the way that CM Punk exists. He is a hardcore staple. He was the voice of the voiceless. But today he's billionaire Phil trying to like still convince us. You know who he is, dude? He's Hulk Hogan in WCW with the red and yellow and still thinking everybody's vibing as a Hulkamaniac when it's just not the case. I'm not saying people hate CM Punk. That's not the case. But they don't like him. They don't love him like they did. He's not the same character. How can you be? Like, everybody changed it up. Name one wrestler that you could argue is in the top 50 that didn't go through a massive overhaul and or complete gimmick change, right? I mean, Kane had like 4 different personas before he landed on Kane. Undertaker was like 3 different guys. Diesel or Kevin Nash, he was the fucking weirdo with the silver hair and the Oz. That was his name, Oz, right? So we have never seen CM Punk really have to go through a transition once he reached that pinnacle. But the pipe bomb shit doesn't hit the way it used to because it don't feel like a pipe bomb anymore. It just kind of feels like you're playing a role. But Roman don't feel like he's playing a role. He doesn't. I'm sorry. I feel like Roman's the heel in the story, I think. Like, it feels that way. He's playing the heel. But when we get to Sunday night, make no mistake about it, Roman Reigns will be the guy that everyone in the building is cheering for. There'll be a CM Punk chant, but by the time 40-year-old men are tired of yelling his name, their windpipes will give out. Their lungs will have expired. The older men like myself who revered CM Punk will tire out. And even though we're loud as shit because we're fully grown men who love a fucking kids sport, it's not a kid sport, but you know what I'm saying? Even though we're fully grown men and we're loud and we can, yell over the kids, there's far too many of them, Roman Reigns fans, I mean, of all ages, sex and all that, creed, whatever, color. And all I'm saying is that if WWE doesn't realize what they're walking into, then what we could get from Sunday night is the very opposite of what The Rock and Hogan were able to produce. Because what they were able to produce, The Rock and Hogan, on the night that they went out there, was they were given a certain amount of credence. They were given a certain amount of veteran respect. And if things go sideways, those are the 2 guys you went out there calling the plays, bro. Those are the 2 quarterbacks you went out there. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm not saying Roman and CM Punk aren't those quarterbacks. What I am saying is that the narrative may be very far from what WWE and both of those men want to accomplish come Sunday. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Mex said, I mean, Punk was once Jesus. Yeah, dude, I forgot about that part. He said, dude, we were all watching Stone Cold flip the bird and say son of a bitch as children, but I think Roman's okay. Yeah, as children, Mex. How fucking long ago were you a child? I'm going to tell everybody it was at least 2 decades ago. Sorry, champ. Sorry, but it was. That's a long time. And now let me ask you a question. How many people in the last decade have you seen flip the bird or drop the F-bomb? Specifically on TV, but let's just say it at all, period. Even on social media. It's probably what, like 2%? Maybe it's definitely less than 5% of the total roster that has existed since 2016. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's different and it hits different today. And giving guys like Pat McAfee the opportunity to go out there and use those ploys that Stone Cold used to get over and then tell the rest of the roster, damn you can't flip the bird. You're going to get suspended for dropping an F-bomb. Bullshit. Roman honestly should do it on TV on Friday. Well, I guess it's too late for that, but somebody should just come out and just say the F-bomb. I think it should just happen. Kit Wilson. Let's let it Kit Wilson. Or what if he just goes up to Jelly Roll and they're like, Jelly's like, this is over, Kit. You and I are done. And then Kit looks at him and he goes, shut up, fat fuck. And then walks away. Boom. That's it. He, like, you would never believe. Atomic. Oh man, that would be epic. But listen, let's what I'm saying is it's okay for Roman to say fuck. Oh yeah. No. Okay, I get it now. Yeah. It is okay. Very okay. And here's the thing, it would be okay for him to say fuck even if Pat McAfee didn't do any of the things he did, even if he wasn't introduced into it. They say shit all the time. Pat was running around flipping the bird the other day. Yeah, no. That's what I'm saying. It's like Pat allowed to do that, right? Not being a full-time roster guy, not even being on commentary anymore, like basically being back into celebrity position is fucked up. It's fucked up to have people that aren't regular members of the roster and whose livelihood depends on getting over or not be unable to utilize those kinds of tools, right? Like the F-bomb or the bird. You can't use those tools, but we're going to let celebrities get over, you know what I mean? Even though they're fucking celebrities, which is crazy. Listen, I had Shoeshine on the show last night or yesterday, and I wanted him specifically on for a couple reasons. One, he works in Vegas or he lives in Vegas and works in Vegas, I guess. And then two, he's a casual fan. And I asked him specifically, like, what appealed to you in this full card matchup? You know what I mean? And obviously, like, he's into the main event, but he's like, dude, the I Show Speed match, that looks great. It's like those guys, I Show Speed doesn't even need like to get over. They don't even need to book him. He can just walk out there and everybody's waiting for him either to land a move or have a move landed on him. By the way, that thing was so terrible. Like, they should have just brought him to the building. You could have still used those vignettes, but now it feels like the story they're telling us is that I Show Speed will somehow have mastered wrestling enough to keep up with the longest reign. No, not the longest. One of the longest reigning tag teams of all time, and LA Knight, a veteran of like 20 years in the biz or a little or close to that. Well, it makes it better. You don't want to dilute it. I mean, damn, look how weak a super kick has become. Very, very good point. Very, very good point. I agree fully with your point. You cannot dilute it. But I also don't think it should be, when it's used seldomly, it should be used to get over somebody that's going to be on the roster and is going to be on the roster for quite some time. An Obafemi, somebody used to get from the level that they are, right? Because they're at the beginning of their major push, another level up. Mex, you've said this before. There are levels to this thing in wrestling, specifically the stardom, right? And I agree with that fully, so much so that, people are like, oh, if Oba can beat Lesnar, he's going to take a step to the elite. Like, no, there are so many more things that Obafemi is going to have to accomplish beyond Saturday night or Sunday night that, ultimately, you're right. It is levels to this. And I think that you have to save those levels for the people that add to the daily product. Alex said, hey, yo, did you cook AEW for using WrestleMania week to once again chase clout? Nope, we haven't yet. But thank you for doing that, because now we're going to do it. Well, shout out to Alex, who, like Mex and Matt, always is just somehow capable of tossing up that perfect Scottie Pippen assist to my Michael Jordan, where I palm it, even though I can't palm it because my hands are super small, and I fucking one hand slam it in that bitch, NBA Jam style, breaking the boards. But yeah, you set us up for that one, champ. So thank you. Real quick, let me do this. So if you have not gone yet to fightsatw.com for the day, shame on you. Why haven't you? But if you go now, you'll get to see my article on the top of the homepage, the top 3 WWE multi-generational matchups. Now, this is not a long read. I will ask everybody if they could just go fightsatw.com real quick, click the article, give it a quick read. But, I put Dom and Ray in there, and also put Mr. Perfect Bret Hart, because my argument with that one is that Mr. Perfect and Bret Hart at 1991 solidified a moment in time that continued through Razor Ramon, Shawn Michaels, Roddy Piper, Ric Flair, that led to where we got Eddie Guerrero, Kurt Angle. The Ruthless Aggression era would not have existed without the work that Bret Hart and Mr. Perfect did in the early 90s. These guys stole the show, right? SummerSlam 91 is when they wrestled for the IC title. And I'd argue that that was the night that the bar was raised on the IC title expectation. So there's that one. There's some good reading there. So definitely make sure you tap in. Let me see. Okay, so Darby Allin, you was, as everybody mentioned, won the title last night on AEW. God damn it, why does it keep doing this? He won it on AEW TV. And this is following, obviously, the pay-per-view that was on Sunday. And as Alex alluded to, he said, had we talked about AEW using WrestleMania week to once again chase clout, that is where the fandom seems to be at right now. So before we get to, let me just say, I remember 3 days after Cody won the title at WrestleMania, AEW had Goldust face Friedman for the championship. Bush League crap. I didn't remember that. So yeah, that's in line with what we're seeing, I think. Look, Darby Allin, first of all, has potential to be a bigger star than he even is today. And he does exist as a pretty significant star. Probably top 10 biggest stars outside of WWE. And I think his title reign or title win was a moment for AEW, or it should have been a much bigger moment, right? I want to make sure that I say the good things first, right? The program was actually done fairly well if you ignore all the context, right? Which I'm not asking you to do. I'm not trying to sell you on why it's good. I'm trying to explain that there are pros and cons to this. So, first and foremost, okay, the promo that Darby Allin cut on Wednesday at the very beginning of AEW Dynamite has to be one of the best performances that he's given. Did it go too far? I don't know, but I'd say yes. And I say yes only because I watched it live and thought, "Oh shit, Darby's going to win, or this is a really, really terrible move." And it was already a terrible move booking it, right? But let's just take a real quick listen to Darby's promo.
I hung posters all around the city. I taped posters all around the city for tonight's show. I climbed Mount Everest and I hung that flag on top of the world. The scars, the blood, everything. I'm ready. I've been ready. My career started 10 miles down the road at the Buddy Wayne Academy.
All right, what are you guys feeling this? You guys not feeling this? What's going on? Alex said, I would have imagined Darby winning the AEW championship being a 3-month storyline leading up to him winning, not just forcible fan service for the PWI subscribers. Man, Alex, I feel like that is probably the... Oh, are you sure? Thank you, my love. Okay, thank you so much. Man, this is such a telling, like, Alex's comment here, I think wraps it up very well, right? So again, I would have imagined Darby winning the AEW championship would have been a 3-month storyline. And I agree. There is a story that was being told when it comes to Darby Allin winning the AEW championship. However, it wasn't an active storyline, right? And this momentum that you built towards it organically, it's like you tried to get attention, or it's like you tried to gain the attention without focusing on the moment. Because listen, there's so much bad about this, really, when you think about the context of the booking. And shout out to Mex, because he's the one that made me realize this, and Matt too. You just had Omega and MJF go nearly an hour of one of the best matches of the year. And how do you solidify that? You crown Darby Allin on Wednesday night. It's not that I think that MJF, has to be protected in that situation. Not at all. But it's like, what did you get out of it? Like, how did this land for everyone else? Because if the only goal was to make sure that the wrestling media was going to post a picture of Darby Allin with, the plot or the subtitle or title being, wins the AEW, Darby finally wins the AEW title. If that was your only goal, I can't imagine that it makes more fans of AEW than it would have been if you waited the 6 to 12 weeks. 6 is a little short. I'd say 8 to 12 weeks. You have a build, and I get it. You don't have you have Forbidden Door, which is not necessarily something that really screams AEW title match. I don't know, because it's like you have Wembley coming up. And as far as I was concerned, as an AEW fan watching the product weekly, everything was leading towards a Will Ospreay title win, right? It feels like if you're going to put your best foot forward for the remainder of 2026, heading into 2027, which is a very big year for AEW television-wise, contract-wise, then I would assume you'd put it on your brightest star, which is Will Ospreay, right? And yet here we are. Darby Allin's won the title. This is what, the 4th AEW title change? Oh no, the other one happened in December. How many times has the AEW title changed in 2026? Let's see. Twice. Oh, no, at least twice. AEW has changed. MJF and blah, blah. Okay, MJF defeated Samoa Joe. Oh, that was in December. Okay. I mean, but it was like December 27th. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4 title changes since last year. Actually, it's within the span of like 6 months, 7 months. Yeah, I don't know, dude. I can't rock with this. But it was a very emotional promo. Let's watch.
And I took a deep breath. My first day of wrestling school. And I said, I'm either going to make it
I don't know if they need her just like standing there. I don't know.
as Darby,
Weird.
or I'm going to fail as Darby. But I'm not changing a single thing. And tonight, I climbed to the top of this sport, and I didn't change one thing. Ring the bell!
Yeah, that was really good. That was really, really good. Now here was the
Going for the Scorpion Death Drop. Scorpion Death Drop! Hell yeah! Cover it! Whoa! Oh no!
I forgot how clean he landed that.
Oh my God! A second! Darby's not done! Coffin drop!
That's got to be the toughest move
No! Darby!
to take. That has to be one of the toughest moves to take, despite the fact that Darby's like 120 pounds.
Oh, the side headlock! That's right. Take over, he's got him hooked. 2, 3,
Shoulders looked a little up to me, but whatever. So listen, first of all, why does this work? Okay, we'll talk about that. There was an aspect of the continuity for MJF that did play out well, right? So you can argue two things that are true that aren't fully true, right? So like I'll give you an example with the One Wing Angel. He said he kicked out of it. True. However, wasn't like an actual kick out, right? He had already been down for several seconds. And this kind of like this similar situation, it's like MJF went into this match already beaten, not prepared to defend the title. So the narrative worked, right? You can protect MJF in this moment by making it so that Darby Allin took advantage of a weaker champion, in that moment. But again, I don't think it's worth, like, you can protect MJF in a loss against Darby Allin 3 months from now, right? This is all about creative. This is all about booking. That's what this comes down to. In wrestling, the money is made in the chase. The chase is over. That's how tall the building he jumps off of is his first title. Oh, let's see how tall the building he jumps off is in his first title defense. Yeah, that could be. They better cash in with this idea. Side note, it's tragic that unless Aubrey Edwards goes to WWE, she'll be like a forgotten indie figure. Yeah, probably. But I don't know, maybe not. She's over, or she's been really over before, but I do agree that she seemed to cap out like popularity wise. So Darby wins the title and the crowd goes mid. No, and look, all these shocked faces, it just like, where's the close up? Like, I don't know. The crowd seemed too surprised to react. I mean, look, let's count the too shocked to react people. So there's one face covered or hands covered. We're going to count this guy because he's clearly looking away. Let's see. Where else are they? This jaw drop. Boom. I would say both of these people. This guy. AEW mom. Orange over here. Damn, he wore all orange and he got a red beard and red hair. He's doing too much. But look at all these like stunned people who just like didn't have the brain capacity to react. It was like the win happened and like the dial modem just started going like and yet if you watch the whole thing, it's like it was clear he was gonna win. I think they made it too much, like too obvious. You know what I mean? I don't know, but it was the wrong time. I think that's the easiest thing to say. It was the wrong time for this. I'm not trying to say that it shouldn't have happened. I'm just trying to say that it shouldn't have happened then, I think. This is not a moment in history, in my opinion. Yeah, I agree. I think when you look at like Bret Hart at WrestleMania 10, or you look at Daniel Bryan, I think it was WrestleMania 30, when you look at those like story told moments, right? Even Cody Rhodes not too recently. It's about the chase, Alex. That's what you said, and that's what is true as ever today. And you make the money in the chase. Like Kevin Nash said that. You know what I mean? Like we all know that to be true. Like Cody Rhodes wasn't the biggest fucking star in the world. He was turned into one of the biggest stars in the world. Now, granted, he had plenty of momentum and he had plenty of upside. And I think we could all recognize the ceiling of Cody Rhodes once he got back to WWE. But like, there was no story written or no law made that said Cody Rhodes had to get over. He got over because they did the right things with him in the right moments. The Seth Rollins feud, epic, right? You have that moment of his big old purple nurple fighting Seth Rollins in a red cage for some reason. And then it's like, you have that whole storyline, right? And by the way, what happened in that storyline? Remember after WrestleMania 39, wrestling fans were so pissed off at the product. So pissed off Cody didn't win. But guess what? There was like probably 5 times the amount of people that watch it. Maybe not that many, but there was way more people that watched WrestleMania 40 to see the rest of that story. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. I appreciate that AEW tries to go out of its way sometimes to make it feel like a sport where anything can happen. The problem is that if you're going to make stars out of these guys, then this stuff has to happen at the very right time. Hold up. All right. So it got hot in here. I had to turn the AC down, bro. All right. So that's about it that I have on AEW's Darby Allin. If anybody wants to jump on a little bit later to talk about the moment that was. And remember, tonight is the spring break collision on Thursday. You have the Elite taking on the Rascals, which I think is a very good match. Um, mm, trolling everybody on the internet. We're trolling everybody on the internet. Okay, so before we get to the Jey Uso stuff, I want to incorporate something, a real quick story, because this is like everything, right? Boxing, MMA, wrestling, which obviously this channel is dedicated to talking about. And I came across this little tidbit. Shout out to Abe Gonzalez and Dan Raphael. I think also tweeted something about this as well. Let's see. Okay, so the New York Times has broke the story that Saudi Arabia's sovereign investment fund. Thank you so much, my love. This is what a good wife does. All right. I mean, not a good wife, a loving wife. That's what I meant to say. Breaking news: Saudi sovereign investment fund is on the verge of withdrawing its financial support of Live Golf. So just to read the article, because remember, when you watch my show Infighting FX, then you're part of a community of people that read the full story, right? We don't just read the headline. We don't just watch the video. We do research over here. That's why we're really good at debate and always fuck up everyone that comes on. That comes on, trying to start shit. No, that's not true at all, dude. Stop. I wish I could share your comment. I can't, but I wish I could. Alex said Jey Uso had a better story and moment than Darby. Absolutely agreed. Absolutely agreed. And there you go. And that's a great point. I love that you made that point because you're right. Jey Uso had a way more proper ascent to the championship level, but it didn't work, right? It didn't work. So there isn't saying that this won't work for Darby, but it's hard for me to believe it works better, right? Than a carefully crafted 3-month or 2-month program that ended in his evolution or his what's it called? What are those retarded look maxers say? Elevate. No, not elevate. Ascend, right? And so they want to ascend in that kind of way. Whatever. I will he? I don't know, but I just like I said, I think it could have been. I think there could have been a better attempt. So anyway, this is the story. Let's go ahead and share this tab. Oh, I'm not logged in on my Apple account. Okay, well, hold on. Let me log in on my Apple account real quick. Stop streaming. Weird. All right, I'm not gonna be able to share it. I'm just gonna have to read it from my phone because for some reason the New York Times isn't letting me sign in. The fuck? Why did I get an email giving me a breakdown of the federal government's new guidelines on flying? Okay, I don't give a shit. It's gonna be too expensive to go anywhere in like 3 weeks anyway. 4 weeks. Oh, by the way, guys, that's also a big part of this. The jet prices in the UK, jet oil prices like skyrocketed. All of the top financial, oil fucking people or whatever are saying that America exists like a month and a half to 3 months behind the UK when it comes to this kind of stuff. Because of where we're located and all that. So they're giving us like a 2.5-month timeline before we get like really hit. And that's gonna like really, really affect travel, like for media and stuff like that. I don't know. I think it's like a way more important time than ever to have people at like the events, but I wonder how many of like the best, most unbiased journalists are even going to get to make it to these places, right? Like no one's going to Riyadh season that actually is a journalist. Like if you're going to Riyadh season, it's because you're a bought and paid for commodity. I'm just saying that's the way it seems to me, at least. MVP MMA got zero attention yesterday. Ronda's still petty as always. Nah, you're hating, Alex. She got some attention for real, bro. She went after what's her name bad. And like, here's the thing. Did the fight get attention? Like, are more people like, oh shit, I can't wait to see Ronda Rousey, Gina Carano? No. And in that way, you're probably right. But in the sense of her coming out and looking and sounding like that bitch, she did that as well as anyone else. I'll tell you what, Kayla Harrison don't sound like that. I don't think Harrison even like is in the same like stratosphere as far as like stardom goes. And again, I'm not even saying that one beats the other or one's pound for pound better than the other. But Ronda brought some receipts, bro. It's like hard not to call her the biggest MMA women's fighter in the world right now. She's fighting, then she is an active participant. And if you went to 1 million Americans and asked them who they know, like literally any UFC fighter in the women's division actively or Ronda Rousey, I have to assume Ronda Rousey is going to be the bigger name. On top of that, they don't have to compete. Netflix is like this special commodity that doesn't have to compete in the same way DAZN does, or in the same way that CBS does, or Paramount. Netflix is like cable TV except streaming wise. Like everybody has Netflix for the most part. And if you don't have Netflix, there's a good chance that at some point in the last decade and a half, you've been ostracized for it and be like, wait, you don't have Netflix? Like, that type shit. It used to be like when we were kids in school, right? It would be like, wait, you don't have HBO? I'm like, wait, you don't have shows? Oh, you don't have cable? Like it was like a weird thing, right? Even though it wasn't a weird thing, but that's how like we would see it. And so it's like, you don't have Netflix, everybody's going to watch the Ronda Rousey fight. People that don't want to watch it are going to watch it, and I know the card got hit with a pullout, I think yesterday. Golf does not have half the potential profitability that boxing has. That's not the case. That's not true, Alex. Maybe Live Golf, if you want to make the argument that they never had the proper backing and long-term support to make it viable, but there are so many more people that watch golf than watch boxing worldwide. Golf there's a reason why you can, like in your city, if you look up like golf shop, go look that up and you'll probably find like at least 3 or 4. I mean, depending on how big your city is, right? But there's going to be something, right? You look up a boxing gym, look up a fucking place to go buy boxing shit, look at a place anywhere that sells anything boxing, and you're going to be hard pressed to find it. Now, that doesn't really prove anything, but it does say that there's one in the zeitgeist of sports, and that's Rory McIlroy. And that's the Masters, and that's Augustus, and that's the stuff that gets millions upon millions of people worldwide to watch. Whereas boxing, it's like you can't really argue that the sport is thriving. You can argue that boxing as like an entity is thriving because you have things like Aiden Ross's brand risk or slap fight or the many other alternatives. You could say that boxing, is definitely a viable business commodity or sporting endeavor. I don't think you can say that the Live Golf thing here. Okay. I'm trying really hard to like specifically say what I'm trying to say, because I don't think you're wrong. Live Golf was always in a position where they were like 10 steps behind where they should have been, right? And they almost tried like a AEW type of approach of just like getting as many like top, names as you can to make it sound sexy and stuff like that. But I agree with you. I don't think Live Golf has the same or has ever had the same dedication as the Saudis have clearly given to boxing, and Turkey clearly has. So yeah, I agree with you fully. I didn't want to like come on and make it seem like if I'm, arguing that that boxing's next, right? And Dan had said that's why I saved one of his shits. He said, hopefully boxing isn't next, referring to the Saudis sovereign investment fund. But I agree. I don't think boxing is going anywhere. I don't think they're going to stop the boxing investment anytime soon. What I can say is this. If there isn't the kind of return, then at some point there will be this conversation. Like this dude here, he said it perfectly. The Saudis put $6 billion into Live Golf, just a wee bit more than they put into boxing. Turkey will stay invested in boxing. He's passionate about the sport, unlike golf, which was just an investment. And that's perfectly said. Live was an investment that they thought could work based on the popularity of golf. Boxing is something that they undertook knowing the potential ceiling for it and value of it, while also recognizing its current place in the American zeitgeist doesn't really exist. But either way, very good, very, very good conversation there. Thank you, Alex, for saying what you said. He said Ronda went after Kayla knowing she'll never have to fight her. That's a fair point. Let's watch that real quick. That's a fair point. That is a very fair point.
Recently, Death Row MMA.
Let me real quick say shout out to MVP and shout out to Netflix. I'm saying that because I'm live on YouTube and being forced to say so anytime I play anything. Remember, YouTube is a bunch of N-word. Whoa, shit. That's not what I meant. Oh my God. I was trying to not say Nazi. Oh my God. That's weird that I made that mistake, but you know what I'm trying to say now. So don't act weird about it.
Be remiss if I don't ask you. I saw a podcast recently, Death Row MMA, hosted by Jorge Masvidal.
Dude, that was hilarious. I'm just going to try to brush over it, but now I can't. That was hilarious. Oh, God, please don't. I hope Mex isn't watching. I swear to God, I hope Mex isn't watching. Oh, man. I'm just like so nervous. I'm going to see my phone light up and he's just going to just have it clipped already.
And Kayla Harrison was on.
Oh, God, I called YouTube a bunch of N-words. That's crazy.
And she was asked about this fight and was quite dismissive of the fight. And I believe she referred to you as, quote, and I love Kayla and I love Jorge as well, but she did call you irrelevant. And so I was wondering if you saw those comments.
All right. So I can't say how much attention this got. I can say the response to it was visceral. Check it out.
And what you had to say about them.
How are you going to talk about someone being relevant when all you've done is talk about her your entire career?
Me or
Kayla.
Okay.
See, and this is also what I didn't like right here, right? Or this is why it doesn't help. And this is why I do agree with Alex. It didn't help the fight. It may have helped Ronda's point to being like a bigger star. But it's like, if y'all are fighting, no one's going to watch if you're sucking each other off. You know what I'm saying? Like, people want this to be more visceral, more personal, because neither woman represents the best of the division or the best of the sport, right? They are two faded commodities. How much Ronda has left in her, I think, is a big question. But I think the bigger question is, what does Gina have left in her? You know what I mean? And so if we're sitting here asking ourselves, like, what did this big old tirade do to call out a fighter from another promotion? As Alex said, she'll probably never fight, when the person that she is going to fight, the person that they're looking to make money in a promotion with, is standing right across from you. And you're both in love with each other because you're sucking each other off. Like, I don't mean that in a weirdo guy way. I just mean more like, there's just you're kissing each other's ass because you're having this blitz of media from a specific MMA crowd come after you. And I get that, and it sucks, but it's like, all you can ever do is fight your fight. I just don't think that them two ganging up to call out the UFC's roster is a winning narrative, right? Ronda says something in a bit that is a very winning narrative, and that is, more people are going to watch my fight with Gina than anyone has ever watched any of those other girls' fights, specifically Kayla. And that's a big talking point. But I don't know.
Okay, gotcha. I just want to make sure. But I wanted to.
Ariel's such a little bitch too. I love Ariel. I love Ariel Hawani. I didn't mean it like that, but I just mean like he's being like such a girl right here. It's like, wait, you're calling me out? Like, it's like, dude, who gives a shit if they call you out? Like, we're journalists. I mean, you're a journalist. I'd say that I am I'm a writer who tries to be a journalist. And I'll say that I wouldn't have given a shit at all. I would have been like, oh yeah, I do talk shit.
Give you a chance to respond.
Me irrelevant or Gina irrelevant?
I think she just dismissed me, but she called you irrelevant. And I was like, but you've been talking about Ronda your entire career. So, I mean, obviously that's not very irrelevant.
Oh, you're calling her irrelevant, but me and her making out right now on stage. We're such good friends. We don't even want to fight each other.
Right. Well, I mean, well, Gina is so relevant that she's the whole reason that the 145-pound division even exists. And I am so relevant.
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Like, that's not, we don't want to hear that shit. Like, Gina is such an angel that she wears the best lipstick. And also, she's one of the best fighters because she was on Disney and did movies. And obviously, Gina is so great because I love her and want to make out with her. It's like, dude, this is a fight you're trying to sell. You realize that. You're not going to get in the ring and fucking Jeffree Star is going to be wearing a fucking striped shirt, watching y'all do y'all's makeup, seeing who's going to win and does it better. This isn't going to be a fucking tutorial on how to dress for events. This is going to be a fight. And y'all are just like loving on each other. I'm sorry. I don't know. Who cares?
And that the only reason she has a job at the UFC is because of me. And Kayla is so irrelevant that she couldn't even keep the 145-pound division around. And honestly,
Yikes. That's actually like a really big comment. It really is, right? Because like when we look at the nature of what she's saying as it relates to like the flyweights or Mighty Mouse's era, it hits different. I'll just say it like that.
Because no matter what she does or what she accomplishes, she can't change the fact that she has the charisma of a wet towel and will always be in me and Gina's shadow. So the next time she wants to talk shit, she should look down at her feet and consider who paved the road that she's walking on. Oh, wait.
You know, though, here's another thing that could be happening. Alex said that they're not going to fight. Okay. Yeah, I have the pass, of course. Why do you ask? Yeah, I have the pass. You're talking about Paramount UFC, right? Or what are you talking about? Jesus, Alex. Come on, dude. There's kids that watch. No, I'm just kidding. That was funny. What pass are you talking about, Alex? But while he answers that, I'm gonna tell y'all this. Look, this could be Ronda attempting to build up her worth, right? This fight, let's call a spade, right? I know there's a lot of MMA fans that don't like when criticism is launched at Uncle Dana, but I've been in this game too long to not know what the fuck is going on right now. And I'm gonna tell you, Uncle Dana fucked this up. Listen, I don't know what they were asking for from Dana. Not really, right? Because there's a number that's floated out there, but a lot of people don't understand specifically about the fight game and contracts is that it's like the makeup of the contract that the total is worth, right? Because if you're a Mayweather and you're getting, X amount to fight, but you're still getting X amount of the pay-per-view, X amount of the popcorn, X amount of whatever, merch, whatever, ultimately it's a bigger piece of the pie, right? So I don't know what she was asking for. All I know is that this fight belonged on the White House card. I'm dead serious about that. Now I've said this already a million times. The White House card, I love it. It's great. Amazing action. But I'm a UFC fan. I'm a guy that's been watching since fucking UFC 1. I've been watching since I got fucking Royce Gracie's fucking figure in the back there somewhere signed. I got pictures with Mike Thomas Brown signed. I got pictures with Ben Henderson and I used to train, not train, but I have trained before with Donald Cerrone and Leonard Garcia. I have deep roots in MMA as a journalist. And I can tell you that the casual MMA fan doesn't look at the White House card and see stardom. I can tell you that the average casual MMA fan, UFC fan, looks at that card and is asking, where's Conor McGregor? Where's Bones Jones? Where are the names that have made up the, top of the card, right? And so if you would have had this fight, it would have satisfied the casuals' thirst while also, allowing for hardcore fans to get what they really want. Alex said, if Kayla didn't get her neck problem, she would have already been a huge star beating Amanda in January. Maybe. Here's the problem with that, right? Amanda Nunes may be the greatest of all time, but she never got that proper, oh, fuck. God damn it. Oh, that's hilarious. Okay. Now I saw what Alex was saying. Okay. All right. Well, we'll just pretend we didn't know what we were talking about there. So if Kayla did get her neck problem, she would have already been a huge star by beating Amanda in January. So I don't know that is true. I'm not saying Kayla didn't win or wouldn't have won that night. What I am saying is that Amanda Nunes never really capitalized off of her wins over Ronda Rousey, right? Like, because like in wrestling, like when Hogan beat the Giant, that transfer of power happened, right? There was a passing of the torch. The same thing when John Cena and The Rock, or The Rock or Hogan passed the torch to The Rock that night, or tried to do it with Ultimate Warrior. And when it happens in boxing and MMA, it usually is a passing of the torch as well. And I'll give you examples like when Pacquiao fought De La Hoya. By the time he fought De La Hoya, Pacquiao was already considered one of the best pound for pound fighters in the world. He had already shown what elite class he was against probably the greatest featherweight class of all time, or at least the most or the deepest maybe. And so when you look at that and you say, oh shit, Pacquiao was this little guy that the boxing world knew was a star, but then he beat De La Hoya, who had real stardom, and that launched his career, right? So they depend on these kinds of names, right? You have to beat the man to be the man. And if you didn't go to the Ric Flair School of College, then you'll never understand why that is true and how many different examples we have in combat sports. So,
she can't look down at her feet because she's too busy holding on to the belt and a neck brace. And then she goes on and says that I lied about training in judo in Canada in like 2006. Like, what the fuck are you to call me a liar? Okay. I was training there for 5 months. Bitch, you weren't even there. Okay. Over the last decade and a half of being a public figure, I have cultivated a reputation for being unabashedly truthful. This bitch just got here and was already caught in a lie.
You know what? To be fair, though, she's not really lying here. You know, I'm not saying she's always comes with facts. What I'm saying is she always comes with her truth. And her truth might be sometimes distorted, specifically when we talk about her run in WWE, but it's always honest. It's always honest.
What did she say after she won the belt? She said, oh, I'm never going to say anything bad about Ronda. She took care of me when I was broke in Japan and bought me groceries. How about you shut the fuck up and eat your groceries?
Yikes, bro. Yikes.
And her and Hunter trying to act like her next upcoming fight is the biggest women's fight of all time. Then why is it being booked as a co-main for a men's interim title fight?
Ooh, and see, that's the nasty work right there. That's the nasty work right there. And let me tell you why. Because that was true twice, right? The first time they were trying to have the fight, it was booked as the co. Actually, was it the co? Wasn't it like one of the... No, I think it was the co. Yeah, I think it was the co. I think so. I think it was the co. Babe. Ash. Oh, I just wanted to know if you were still here. Kayla Gold, Ronda Bronze. Ronda belongs on The View with Whoopi. Damn, champ. Really? I mean, I don't think you should be considered wrong, because the evidence that we have to suggest that Ronda's probably shot is there. That said, time has a funny way in combat sports of revitalizing. And I don't know. I don't think that Gina Carano is the toughest test, right? So like if Ronda comes back and just fucking walks through her, right? Just dog walks her for 30 seconds before the fight gets stopped, then what does it prove, right? It doesn't even remotely prove she could hang with the current class of women in the UFC. I don't know. There's just like a lot there that is a problem. By the way, I'm just gonna say it one more time because everybody keeps joking about it. I was trying not to say Nazis, right? That was the word that was the N-word that I called the N-word. It was the Nazis, which obviously I apologize because that's not what everyone thinks when they think of that. But also, I just used the word like 5 times now, so I'm probably kicked off of YouTube anyway.
Okay, the bitch isn't even bigger than Patty the Baddie. No offense to Patty, I think he's got more potential than anybody in the UFC, and he should call me when his contract runs out.
Yo, and that's a shot at Dana right there. Yo, everybody's trying to like start to manage UFC fighters, right? Because everybody knows that UFC fighters, like, let's be real, they get taken advantage of. I'm not saying like all of them get taken advantage of. I'm just saying when you're not allowed to have specific managers in there, you're not allowed to have representation that you specifically want. And when the UFC refuses to even negotiate with certain people, you are creating an environment where you're already up on the table, right? Negotiations is like a war. It's a back and forth. And when you have cut off one of the legs of your opponent, um, then the likelihood that advantage will be taken is high. You know what I mean? Somebody's getting taken. I mean, somebody got. There's no way that we get to this amount of like disgruntled employees and lawsuits and something isn't true. Right. Like, again, I'm not saying like the whole UFC gets screwed, or, I'm not one of these people who's like, oh, all the fighter pay, blah, blah. I do think the fighter pay in the UFC is a little bit unequal, or actually just plain unequal. I don't think it's a situation where, people understand it clear cut, right? Because UFC pays for so much to create a platform for which these people to participate, right? So you look at one championship right now. Rich Franklin just got fired. He was the VP, I think, for one championship. What's his name? The guy that used to train with Dom. Fuck, I forgot his name, but he got fired too. They just cleaned house and won championship, right? And I don't even think they've been doing like most of their fight nights, their weekly fight nights, and the Bangkok MMA competition has begun to like sprout a little more, I guess, making things a little more difficult for one championship. And so when you recognize that the UFC is the platform, then you can start to understand why, like the WWE, the demand is so high. They put so much back into the business that ultimately it does leave situations where fighters pay is, or wrestlers pay or whatever. Alex said, Ronda thinks she's starting a revolution. She'll regret this soon, whether she wins or loses. She's over her head. Yeah. And that's the problem is if this is what she wanted, if she wanted it to be a revolution, then she should have started when she was, still a commodity in the UFC. Right. And that's why Dana doesn't want, that's why the platform exists the way it does today, because Dana doesn't want to create another Conor McGregor or Bones Jones, or he doesn't want to create another guy that has a bunch of chips on their side of the table and fuck up fights and things like that. All right, let's see. Oh, okay. So, okay. So I'm gonna play this. This was, oops. This was on Monday, I think it was. So this is Eddie Hearn on the Ariel Helwani show being asked what it was like to be in the arena for Conor Benn's fight on Saturday.
What was it like for you to be in attendance watching Conor Benn and not being a part of his team, a part of his camp promoting his fight? What was that like? I was watching you the whole time and trying to read your body language. I was wondering what was going on in your mind.
I mean, I don't know what I felt really. It was a bit weird. I mean, I wasn't, obviously, I guess subconsciously you want him to perform and do well and win. Then you kind of realize, I mean, I'm used to screaming and shouting for him. I've done it since he was 18 years old, done it for 10 years, over 10 years. So it was quite strange not, I guess, having that kind of emotion. I was during the fight, I didn't feel sorry for him, obviously, but I wanted him to try and perform a little bit better, because you could see the sort of, you could feel the crowd feedback, and you could see him getting incredibly frustrated as well. And so, yeah, I don't know. I didn't feel many emotions, if I'm honest with you. I mean, it's quite strange that Mr. Eubank plonked himself next to me. That was good fun. And I had AJ on the other side. So, it was a frustrating night for Conor, obviously, but he got the win.
What did you think of his performance? You said frustrating, but to expand on it, what do you think of how he looked?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think the whole thing, really, Regis obviously shouldn't have been in the ring. I think he probably pulled out of the fight about 4 times and was kept
Yo, that's hilarious.
in the fight. And obviously he said after the fight that he had, I think, 4 injuries and was petrified going into the ring. And I think Conor will be very disappointed not to have got him out of there. He was there for the taking. I don't think Conor's as effective down there at that weight. I think he didn't look like he had any power in his shots. And I think he looks a lot better and a lot stronger and more effective up at 154 or even closer to 160. But, a frustrating night, some bad cuts, but obviously an extremely lucrative one at the same time.
Did Chris Eubank say anything to you throughout the fight?
No, not really. I congratulated him on the birth of his twins. I got a grunt out of that one. And when he said goodbye to AJ at the end of the night, I thought I might get a goodbye here, and I didn't. And then AJ said to him, "Oh, Chris, Eddie says goodbye as well," and he sort of gave me a fist pump and smirked. But it was okay. It was pretty cool, actually. I think that when you go through things like that, we had 2 really good fun promotions, to be fair, and I don't think I'm his favorite cup of tea.
It's weird. I'll be honest. I look at Chris Eubank Jr. and I see a mark, bro. I see a mark. I see a CM Punk level mark. I see a Bret Hart level mark, bro. I do. It's weird. Like, at this point, right? I can tell you, having worked in boxing from a PR standpoint as a junior publicist, as a journalist, as a videographer, I can tell you that like 99, maybe not 99, but it was like over 90% of everything that you see in a promotion is not scripted necessarily, but understood that it's like all in the wake of business, right? Do you have a thick enough skin so that I can say some mean things and in the end we're going to make way more money than we would have? That answer is always going to be yes for those guys, right? Now, there are some people in boxing, just like there's some people in MMA, just like there's some people in wrestling, right? My bad. Anyway, so there's just like differences, I think, in the mentality of certain fighters. And I think some of them understand better than others that, the shittier you are to me in this promotion, the more people are going to buy it. And in the end, we can just dap it up knowing that there's really not any actual heat or beef here. Let me see. I don't think that's true. I think Dana wants to push Gable to the moon. Yeah, I definitely think Gable represents a phenomenal or a really high ceiling in terms of profitability. That said, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if Gable gets to utilize the full spectrum of marketing the way that GSP was allowed, the way that BJ Penn was allowed, the way that both Conor McGregor and Bones Jones were allowed. I don't know. I don't see it. And part of it I don't see it is because of wrestling, right? Like, I remember how much more leverage wrestlers seem to have, like back in the 80s and 90s, as opposed to the more corporate structure that the WWE became, right? Limiting their ability to do like things like live streaming, or like outside media appearances, or even like booking their own shit. Like at some point you lose more the more you make, or the higher up you get, and I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. But I do think that it feels like the UFC would rather be the NFL than the WWE, right? The WWE depends on stars like The Rock and John Cena and Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. The NFL depends on nothing but the Super Bowl. The NFL represents the epitome of football, right? So if you want to call yourself a world champion and you play football, then you better win a fucking Super Bowl. So it doesn't matter that that's the organization, or that's the promotion where Patrick Mahomes is. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that that's the promotion, or that's the place where, Tom Brady made his entire career. That doesn't matter. Tom Brady's career is only as important as it is because he played in the NFL. See, that's the distinction. That's the distinction. That's very important to understand. What did you think of the Street Fighter movie trailer? Oh, I fucking loved it. We can watch it. Let's watch it real quick. Was there something else on here?
But it was good fun.
Did you run into Connor at all? Did you see him?
No.
That was it, I think. I just wanted to play that part. So you leave it? Okay, love you. So let me see. Oh, playlists. Mm. Mm, 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 mm. So somebody asked me yesterday online if the Tommy Fury Eddie Hall fight was real. It's real. It is very, very real. And here is the proof. Oh shit. Oh man, that is like the best fucking clip. I swear to God. One more time. Oh shit, that was hilarious. Oh my God. All right. Let's see. Street Fighter trailer. I need this to be better than I feel like people think it's going to be. I know that sounded weird, but I just don't even trust trailers anymore. Like at all. But this looks so good. Wait, is this the new one? Yeah, 10 hours ago. I'm a straight rider. You don't want to with me. Boop.
4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I got good news, y'all. Gathered here are the world's best fighters.
I won't deny it, I'm a street fighter.
But only one of which will be crowned the world champion.
Vega is. I'm not going to say it. Never mind.
A street fighter! You win! Perfect.
I'm a street fighter.
Not a
a warrior anymore. You're a sideshow.
What's up, MTV? I'm Ken Masters.
This is your shot at redemption.
Who are you gonna show?
The path I'm on now is not one of combat.
Maybe it's Ken's turn to be champion.
How did you find me?
I'm paid to find champions. Even if they're lost.
I like that they have like the M Bison, you know, the M Bison like lore as part of the storyline, right? And how much it resembles I guess like, you know, 1930s / 40s Germany, that you know, it plays to that, right? Because it's like the first one they made was such a it wasn't even that it was bad. I mean, I liked it as a kid. But it was just such a not a kids movie, but like I don't mean a kids movie like it was like for kids. I mean like a kids movie as in like you had to be as stupid as a kid to like think the story made any sort of sense. And you know, they also didn't go with it in the same kind of like tone that I wanted it, right? And this resembles much more the kind of tone I was hoping for.
Good to see you, old friend.
I also don't know how I'm gonna feel about the characters that they made up, right? Because there's like characters in there, and I'm assuming they're just gonna kill them all. I'm assuming that's like we'll see like each Street Fighter end up using like their I was gonna say finisher, using their like special move, right? Like I imagine this is gonna be very Suicide Squad-ish. You know what I mean? Like and I'm actually talking about both movies, really. But I feel like it's going to be kind of like Suicide Squad in the sense that we're going to get these very like quick recaps on each character that's going to be pivotal throughout the movie, right? So we're going to see what's her name? Chun-Li, right? We're going to see Chun-Li do the kick thing, right? We'll probably see Sagat you know, fucking I don't know, hump a bear. I don't know, but we'll see what's the other one's name? Oh, Ryu. Like we'll see them do their whole shticks, right? Like Ryu and Ken, the uppercuts, the Haryukens and all that shit. At like the very beginning of the movie, some point, like within the first act, we will have an introduction where each of them kills one of the made up characters that they made for the movie. But if they end up like using those made up characters in like major roles, dude, I'm going to crash out so fucking hard. It's like, why would you even put Guile in the movie if he's not going to be, or Ken or Ryu, if they're not going to be like the main protagonist? Like you're just going to have Andrew Schultz all of a sudden be some fucking character. I don't know. I'm not. Let's just finish watching. By the way, if y'all are watching Deadpool, not Deadpool, Daredevil, it's so fucking good, dude. It's like Law and Order SVU, but like way more violent and also, no, just that, way more violent. That's hilarious.
Still reckless. Sit down.
Love it.
This tournament is not what it seems. We have to be ready.
Also, the character playing M. Bison, right? Is not like he's gonna have to go through a transformation, right? Because they're not gonna allow the guy that played Mr. Dots in Suicide Squad, the remake, they're not gonna let that guy like just be the M. Bison, right? Like he's not gonna be the final version. There's no way. So he's gonna like have to like have some sort of like thing that happens, obviously. Dude, so sick, bro. Just so he looks so good. I think he's probably the best as far as like representation goes to the like lore of Street Fighter. Holy shit.
I don't see what the big deal is. Bitch, please.
Oh, that's gonna be sick. Holy shit, bro. This looks fucking fire. Yep, there's the kick thing.
That was some abracadabra shit.
Oh, what's going on?
I'm positive that a fireball came out of Ryu.
Do it, Ryu!
Yo, that looks fire. Joe. Oh, Orville. Oh, yeah. That's what I was gonna say too, but I didn't say it earlier. Orville Peck is the country singer. I like his stuff. Tommy is going to beat him and then spank Chase Demore too. Actually, fully agree with that. I think Tommy Fury definitely beats Chase Demore. It's not that I don't think he'll beat the mammoth that is Eddie Hall. I just don't think it'll be I don't think it'll be good. Like it's gonna be one of those fights that like the winner like comes out almost as bad as the loser. Like no one's gonna like the fight. One of them's gonna gas terribly and yet still be big enough to control the range, I think. I don't know. We'll see. It's interesting. Actually, it's really interesting. You know what it is? Let's go back to it real quick too. What's going on?
The war.
You know what it is too? It's also that Eddie Hall is like, I don't know. He just doesn't even look like he's in the same sort of physique that he was when I mean, it's hard to tell with this picture, but like in other videos that I've seen, I mean, he's clearly like still jacked as shit, right? And that will like never go away probably. But I don't know. I can't imagine this fight. I can't imagine the effort he puts out in the first like 45 seconds to a minute and a half. Like after that minute and a half, he's going to be like 30% level. It's like imagine if you had if you're playing Street Fighter and you had Eddie Hall and then like at some point in the first like 10 seconds of the match, he just starts losing his power and it just starts going down. Like that's Eddie Hall right now. But just so we can watch it one last time. Yo, that's hilarious, bro. I'm sorry. That gets better every time. All right. Okay, guys. Well, that is mostly the show, but I'm honestly going to goon to this when it's out on streaming. I don't care. Yeah, I don't care either. I fucking cannot wait. Everybody's talking shit about the Mortal Kombat 2, and I think that one looks fire also. I mean, I'm not even close to as excited for it as I am for Street Fighter, but it's like Doom, it's like Avengers Doom and the new Batman 2, right? Like I'm way more excited for Batman 2, but I mean, what the fuck? It's Avengers Doomsday. Like it's the setup before Secret Wars. when we're probably going to see like every X-Men, every Avenger, every Fantastic Four, every Spider-Man that we've ever had, fighting in Battle World or the Void or whatever they're going to call it. I don't know. I think it's fire, dude. I think it's going to be fire. All right. So, last topic of the day. Let me go to it. Boop, 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 boop. All right. So, Canelo confirms a September return. Shout out to Boxing News. It was just the first one I clicked. Canelo confirms September return against champion. Let's see who's best. So Canelo Alvarez has begun training ahead of his ring return, which will come almost 12 months to the day after he lost his undisputed super middleweight titles to Terrence Crawford. Alvarez suffered just his third defeat in 68 fights when Crawford moved up in weight and beat him via unanimous decision in Las Vegas. Though Crawford, 38, retired shortly after, Canelo, 35, will fight on. Fresh off elbow surgery that he says was well overdue, Canelo has booked his return for September 12th in Saudi Arabia on a card titled Mexico Against the World. What? So, with everything going on in the world as it relates to war, you're going to go to Saudi Arabia and have a title. Who's it for? Is kind of what I want to ask. Like, who's that for? Like, who is, like, okay, you're going to Saudi. I know who that's for, right? But then Mexico Against the World, like, then who's that for, right? And then it's like, if you're going to tell me, hey, Canelo's fight, it's going to be called Mexico Against the World, I would say, oh, well, I know who that's for. But then there's that, well, it's going to happen in Riyadh. And I'd be like, well, then why is that happening? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, who's this for? Who's this for ultimately? I don't know. I can't even, it's like, fuck my head up. They're going to Saudi Arabia 5 days before Mexico independence. 4 days? I can't do math. And he's going to fight in Saudi Arabia on a card titled Mexico Against the World. Yikes, bro. The lack of optics there. They should probably have at least one person that works for the ring or Turkey or that is like, I don't know, not a dumbass. Though the bill is sure to feature some thrilling matchups, the main event holds the most intrigue as fans look to see what Canelo has left, how the Crawford loss has affected him, and if he can become world champion again. Speaking to Box Azteca, shout out to them. I've worked for them in the past. The superstar from Guadalajara said he wished he was fighting sooner, but that plans are moving forward. Oh, yeah, but plans are moving forward. On his opponent, he confirmed that it would be a world champion, endorsing what boxing power broker Turkey Al-Sheikh said when announcing the fight. That sounds weird because, Turkey and DAZN, or Turkey, I should say, haven't been the most, what's the word? Most, I don't know what's the word. They've been combative. Let's just say that with the sanctioning bodies. I wish I were just days away from fighting, but well, I had to take care of my body and my injuries, which you tend to put off. Then they just keep piling up. So I gave myself that time to address the injuries I had, and it was worth it. Right now, the opponent is what we're looking at, analyzing. Richard Schaefer with Turkey last week in London. So we'll see. Oh, what? Wait, what? Richard with Turkey last week in London. So we'll see. Okay. There's a range of rivals there. So let's see who's best, but always choosing the best, and above all, that he's a champion. Honestly, I feel very good. I've been training. I feel extremely good and happy because sometimes that's what you need. Though not set in stone, the new WBC champion Christian Billy is front runner for the opposite corner. Billy held on to his interim super middleweight title belt on the Canelo Crawford undercard via a draw with Lester Martinez, and when Crawford was stripped for the title, he was upgraded to full champion. That does not spark confidence. If that does not play out, the super middleweight division will have 3 other champions soon, pending one fight in May. Jose Armando Resendez will upgrade to full WBA champion at the beginning of the year. Oh, wait, was upgraded. After a win over Caleb Plant. Oh, I forgot. And then Resendez was supposed to fight, and then they pulled out. Okay, yeah, I remember that now. The vacant IBF title was recently won by Cuban puncher Iglesias and Shiraz, and battle it out for the. Oh, and he's gonna battle it out with Alum. For the vacant WBO strap on the undercard of Usyk, Rico. I still haven't figured out how to say it. Is it Verhoeven or Verhaven? I don't know. May 22nd in Egypt. So, yeah, I don't think any of those opponents are something Canelo would want, but at the same time, I don't know. This is such a weird situation. It's like none of those fights are, I don't know. It's like you're coming back to actually be a boxer, which is so weird. Hello? Oh, nothing much, man. Just live. What's going on? Yeah, tomorrow, right? Is that right? Tomorrow? Oh, okay, cool. Okay, well, let me call you as soon as I'm done with my live. Okay, I'll call you as soon as I'm done. All right, later. No. All right. So yeah, let me just say this. Just a couple of things here. First of all, I think that the Canelo Crawford fight was always what I think they assumed was going to happen. And while like sources on this kind of stuff don't really help because the game's changed so much, back when HBO and Showtime had their budgets and their fighters and the promoters that they worked with, they were able to like kind of lay out a game plan, right? And it seems like Turkey wants that to be the way that he does business. But I just don't think that they have the ability to play it out long term like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's like you ask yourself one question: why didn't Joshua get in the ring that night? Well, the reason he didn't get in the ring that night is because Turkey tried to make him the, supporting actor to Frank and Tyson Fury's, main character role. And that was never going to be the thing. Abe said last night on air, if you didn't get to catch yesterday's show, go back and check it out. But Abe said it last night on air. He said that the moment that Turkey called Eddie in the ring and he kind of like just fucking straight out refused and just smiled his teeth through him, like that was it. You knew that the fucking segment was down, 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 going down from there. And it did. It continued to get more awkward, right? More combative. And like it was so weird how so many people like looked at AJ as the problem, despite the fact that Turkey is both the person that said he could get this fight done and the person that said a monumental announcement was coming. And I don't know. I don't think it ends up working well for them, any of them. And for Canelo, if he doesn't get No. If he doesn't get Crawford, he has to fight somebody. And I guess regaining a title does allow him to have more chips on the table, and it makes for better business when you're printing up the posters. Uh, I don't know though. Shiraz, that seems like a crazy fight to me. I would like to see that fight. I would actually. I think the style matchup, when you look at a guy like Shiraz, he does a lot of things that would bother the Canelo that we saw against Crawford. A lot of things that would bother that Canelo, But then if you're like a Canelo believer or Canelo optimist and you think, well, this guy could come back and, if he needed the surgery. And so like maybe he's back to at least like partially what he was. Shiraz is the guy you could prove that against. You know what I mean? Like he's good enough that I would say a convincing win or stoppage just puts Canelo almost right back to where he was. But right now he doesn't exist as that kind of commodity, like not even a little bit. But he said Operation Epic Fury, the war will be over in 2 weeks. Oh, that's what he said, champ, but we'll fucking see. It's weird that he said that because he also said that Lebanon and Israel were going to come and negotiate in 2 weeks. So it's like, you're going to end all of it, or are you only going to end what you started? Because I don't think that that's ending the war. You know what I mean? Because it's like the U.S. and Israel had a reverberating effect on the rest of the world. And so the chaos that's going on in the Middle East that seems to be just spreading, or was, I don't know if it's like you can just put it out with one blanket. You know what I mean? I think it's a fire that spread that will now need like multiple stations where they're fighting those fires. I saw that he was asking people close to him whether JD Vance is doing a good job or not, which tells me that there's a chance they switch him up. But I think most of his advisors would admit, or would at least tell him, probably not best at this point, especially if one of the parties already like is completely cool with the job that vice president has been doing. And then it's like, what is Trump going to do? He's going to make Marco Rubio handle it? Like, how much shit can you put on one guy's fucking table, dude? I don't know. And he's like not doing a good job with Cuba. I mean, what, he's just going to come in and not do a good job for, I don't know. But anyway, we are out of here, guys. That's going to do it for us. Remember, we'll be live on Saturday. And actually, we're going to be live tomorrow. I forgot. We're going to cover SmackDown. Remember, it's the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. It's going to take place on the show. And I am at least going to stay live for the first hour or so of the Hall of Fame. But, here's the thing. If there's enough of y'all in the chat and enough of y'all watching and we can all like kick it together, then I'll for sure stick around. For sure. But that 12 a.m. start time is going to be rough. It's going to be rough on a lot of people. And so I don't know. We'll see. But I appreciate everybody tapped in. Remember, Infighting FX is where you can sub on YouTube, Twitch, X, IG. We'll be live on Twitch in about an hour and a half. IRL planned, and we'll see. No, I don't think that's going to work. Oh, I appreciate you, champ. Thank you for the sub. Hey, what's up, Miguel? Appreciate you join. And Greg, I appreciate you as well over there on IG. Appreciate the subs on IG as well. Fuck, dude. 19 I had today, not during the show. I had 9 during the show. Damn. I don't know what I'm doing on IG, but it's working, I guess. But shout out to everybody who's watching live there. Shout out to everybody who subbed in. Yeah, we will be back later on Twitch, but for the rest of you, tomorrow for SmackDown and the Hall of Fame kicks off our basically 3-day coverage of WrestleMania, where we'll be live. I'll have my recap set for fightsatw.com. You can go to fightsatw.com to read this piece right here. Top 3 WWE multi-generational matches celebrating Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes putting their lineages on the line. The stakes for this match are huge. I argued in one of the lists that that you could argue that, you know, the Roman Reigns Cody Rhodes match, like, I mean, it could like really determine who is the wrestling family, like the premier wrestling family. You know, Cody's got kids, or not kids, he's got nephews, right? Like, what is their, how much clout will they have within the business? I mean, obviously they're gonna have a ton, but I don't know. Cody at the top makes it very, very easy to argue that if there is any other family that is at the top right now of wrestling, it's just Cody with what he's doing. He puts him there. But yeah, there's a lot of good stuff there. A lot of really fun reads as well that I've been putting out over the last couple weeks. Also have a preview for WrestleMania Night 1 and Night 2 coming out. So shout out to everybody. Go to fightsatw.com, bookmark it, make it your one-stop shop for everything combat sports. And please go to Infight FX on all platforms and follow Infight FX. Until tomorrow, SmackDown will be live 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern. Peace.